jiu-jitsu has two separate belt systems, right? I mean, there is the colored belt system, which is based on performance or whatever. And then once you get to the black belt, that kind of stops. Then there's a new belt system that takes over, based purely on time, based purely on staying alive, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's got nothing to do with skill. It's even worse than in like traditional martial arts, because there at least you have to do like a kata or something, you know, to get promoted to some new black belt degree. In ninja, at the fifth degree black belt ninja, you have to dodge a wooden sword with your eyes closed. I mean, in jiu-jitsu, you just have to not die. You know? It's like, come on, guys. Why do we have these time-based black belt ranks? They make no sense. Well, actually, they do make a ton of sense, because if you want to build a hierarchy in a sport, it's a pyramid, right? The problem is that when too many people, after let's say 10, 15 years, everybody becomes black belt level, it's too crowded at the top. So you have to build another pyramid on top of that. And if we base that only based on time, then the old guys will always stay on time and keep their seminar business, right? Then I am now a 7th degree black belt, so you should respect me and expect that I know more about teaching sports and I can also perform better than you, which is just absolute bullshit. There's a reason why the average age of, like, I think the Premier League is like 23 years old, because that's like athletic peak, you know. And but we keep this weird hierarchy, and honestly, it is so far out. I mean, we laugh at other martial arts, but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has golden stripes on the belts when you get high enough, you know, silver stripes and then gold stripes, and then I was like, it's so silly, but it seems like such a desperate way of clinging on to staying on top. You know? I find so what I've experienced too much in jiu-jitsu is that having these hierarchies will kind of can force people to stay in relationships they don't really want to be in, like because okay, cool, I'm training with this and this person who may or may not be a very, very good person, but they could also be a very bad person. Some of you might not even like, or they could even be accused of all kinds of things, you know, very bad. And then you say, yeah, but I'll stay until I get my black belt, you know, then that's it. Then I'm free. But wait, after your black belt, you need to wait another six years to get 2 stripes so that you can also give someone a black belt, you know. And then after that, by the way, you have to hang around because he needs to verify that you don't die, so that every 3-5 years he can give you a stripe on your belt. And this can somehow force people to stay in business relationships they don't want to be in. And I find that very, very sad, to be honest. And I've seen it. I've seen countless of examples on this. So if we have a belt system that's based purely on time, why do we need someone else to promote you to black belt degrees if it's just time? You know, that's a very important question. But the culture, of course, dictates that no, you need to maintain a relationship with some guy who's higher in this, who has more stripes than you. And they will then, when time comes, they will then give you the next stripe and verify that you've stayed alive for 3 years. So that's interesting. But then there's another weird aspect of it, that IBJJF will also promote your black belt degrees purely based on time, as long as you keep paying them. You don't need an instructor. You don't need to have a professor. If you just keep paying IBJJF, they will also give you these stripes, send you a certificate in the mail. Basically, they sell promotions online, and they do this a lot. I mean, this is just like a completely valid thing that people do. Because they might have lost the relationship with their instructor, and then, okay, I'll just keep paying to IBJJF, and then I'm going to apply for my degree with IBJJF, and they send you the certificate, right? So they sell belt promotions online, which is usually completely frowned upon in our community. But that's okay. So I thought, hey, if they can do that, if the way to get promoted as a black belt in black belt degrees is to maintain a relationship with either someone higher in the belt hierarchy or the IBJJF, those are your 2 options. You need to maintain a relationship with one of these 2 entities. Then why not say that belt checker, which is actually way more a way more trustworthy verification of when you got your belts and how long you've been training, because everyone can say this is true, this is not true. Like the entire community has the voice to verify or dispute it. If we have now created a platform where we have very, very trustworthy data on when you got your black belt, and that everything is in order in terms of our, let's say, our cultural agreements, then belt checkers should also be able to just give you these degrees, right, based on time, because it's only based on time. There's nothing else really. You can say no, it's based on training with someone, yeah, but that's not true, because you can also just sign up for IBJJF and get the same, and all the old guys do it. They just get their degrees from IBJJF. So that's not true. So why can belt checker not do the same thing? So I just added a feature saying once you've been a black belt for long enough, belt checker will say, hey, you are now completely, the entire community has verified that you've been a black belt for 3 years. You can now apply for your degree. And then it's like, click, and now you're a first degree black belt. Congratulations. And that's honestly very interesting, because that breaks the business model of keeping that relationship with someone. You know, it breaks IBJJF's business model, and it breaks the business model of those in the hierarchy who just keep relationships based on one day they're going to give you a piece of stripe, a piece of tape on your belt that you can post on Instagram and get social recognition. And this, I think this has been a quiet revolution in jiu-jitsu, because I think it's more than 600 degrees now that are verified on belt checker. That's a lot of seminars, you know. That's a lot of seminars that's been canceled right there. So of course it's voluntary. You can also just do it with someone if you prefer that. Yeah. That's totally fine. Most people prefer that, but I just think it's important to offer an alternative for someone who just wants to do things in a different way. And just to be clear, this is 100% verified by the community, because if everybody disagrees on this, if most people say, no, this is not cool, we shouldn't do this, then they just downvote it. And then that system cannot exist. You know? Because it's not like I have the power or the administrators. It's all the users have the power to approve or not approve this. So if the community decides, no, it should not be based just on time, it should be based on being promoted by someone, then they can just downvote it, and then this feature does not exist anymore. It doesn't work. But they don't. People say that time served degrees are okay, and there's 600 of them, and it's only going to be more. So I find that interesting.
Yeah, man, that's cool work, mate. You're going to get yourself assassinated by the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu cartel at some point, but in the meantime, mate, I love your work.